Hey pros, Crystal here from Elite Hair Care USA. So today we're doing an alopecia weaving service on my client who, as you can clearly tell, has some extensive alopecia and scarring alopecia going on. So she came in and basically said that she wanted to do a short style utilizing her hair on the sides and back as much possible. And then she also wanted to cover her crown, but she did not want it to be super short. She still wanted it to have a little bit of length so it would be manageable. So I started out by just doing the preliminary cut, which is basically to get her prepared for the relaxer. A little disclaimer, you guys, the relaxer, while some of you agree and some of you don't agree, I'm pro whatever my client decides. And she decided that she wanted to get a alopecia weaving service, which does typically require a relaxer because we are utilizing her hair to blend with extensions. Extensions and not straight hair don't typically work together for a shortcut. Okay? So you guys keep your comments to yourself, and also keep in mind that my clients actually watch these videos. So be kind in the comments. It doesn't really hurt you guys. Okay. So I went ahead and applied her relaxer, which you guys have seen this many times before. I did start on the sides and the back, which is the most important. And then I went into the crown area because I wanted that area to lay down and be super flat so that I could protect and mold the area and cover it up so I could actually apply the extensions to the area. Now, it's not a requirement that I relax her crown, but because of her hair texture, I went ahead and just relaxed everything versus leaving the crown in its very textured state. And I knew that this would cause a lot of lifting if it was not nice and flat when it was time for us to do the weaving service. So that's another reason why we do things the way we do things, because some services require other things while other services don't. And also it depends on the style and it depends on the texture of the hair. So in her case, we had to go relaxer. Okay, so now that she has been relaxed, normalized, conditioned, all of that good stuff, it is time for us to give her her cut. Now, you guys can clearly tell her sides and her back is, while she has hair in those areas, it is very sparse. And then the crown, you guys can now see where that alopecia is in those areas, and her hair is super short even though it has been stretched out. So I did start out by just cleaning up her nape and her occipital bone. And because her nape area was so sparse, I did have to do a little bit of manipulating when it came on to the extensions, which you guys will see later on in the service. And then the haircut, of course, is really the biggest part, because if your haircut isn't right and you're trying to blend it with extensions, if you cut wrong, you're going to work very hard to blend this later on. So I highly recommend making sure that if you're a stylist, that your cutting skills are up to par. And really, that is the bulk of the work. The cut, and then, of course, the execution of the extension service. So once I finish her cut, now is when I am preparing her crown for the extensions. So for me, I do multiple layers. In her particular situation, I did 2 base layers, and then of course the silicone protectant on top of them. Now some stylists, they don't do the first base layer. Some stylists, they don't even do the second base layer. But for me, even though I know my client has extensive alopecia, I'm still going to protect her hair as best possible, her scalp, and any of those delicate areas. Part of my job, that's just how I do things. I'm not one that's going to skip and cut corners. Now that her top is completely dry and ready to be weaved, here is where all of the work goes in. So number one, I wanted to kind of blend out and soften that line, or that demarcation line, between the hair that was a little more full versus the hair that was a little more spacey or sporadic. As you guys can tell, at the nape, it was a lot more spacey than it was at the occipital bone. So what I decided to do was to add a track, a very thin track, right above the sides and the back. And I actually used that as a part of the style to give her more coverage in those areas. And I didn't want to give her a full-on quick weave. If that was the case, anybody could have done that. But Crystal likes to work magic. Crystal likes to do things that are challenging. And I also am one of those that if you want to wear your hair, I'm going to give you the opportunity to wear as much of your hair as possible. And I will improvise wherever I see fit. So I'm just straightening out the extensions that I'm going to use at that base level to give her that coverage, especially in the nape area. As you guys can tell, it's super sparse. That comes from wig wearing. It can also be a form of alopecia, traction alopecia. It can be a number of different things. So this is going to basically help to remedy the fact that her nape is so sparse, and also a part of the occipital bone is very sparse as well, if you guys can see that there. So you guys, I want you to just sit back, relax, and just kind of watch the weaving process, and then we'll come back and talk about the styling. We are done applying that weave, and now I'm just going to be using my razor to feather and blend this hair. I could of course use my shears, but I like to use the razor for my clients with alopecia because it makes the style more soft. While of course I want to give her that nice 27-piece style look where you can see every layer in her head, this is not the goal whenever I'm doing my clients. I prefer a more soft style. I prefer a lot of razoring, a lot of blending. I like my clients' hair to look flowy as if it was natural hair. Okay, now we all know this is not natural hair. This is not her hair. So it is still extensions, but I like to keep it soft and movable so that she can also move it around and play with it and get more longevity out of the style. Now, she didn't want too much hair on her face, which is the reason why I chose to do it this length. And I actually mixed my tracks when I was applying them, because as you guys can tell, her sides and her top are a little bit shorter than that one piece that I put around the sides and the back, because that piece is going to serve a different purpose than actually being a part of this blend. Okay. So when I'm also doing the blend, you guys take note, each client is going to be different. My clients are typically the ones that come in with the style that they want. And then I just improvise as I see fit and just make it work for them. So I know some of you are like, oh my gosh, they're always getting the same things. No, not really. It's the clients that choose. And a lot of times they're coming to me based on YouTube videos that they watch. So they already have an idea of where they would like to be, and they just allow me to be creative and just work my magic as best I can. Now, you guys take note and just kind of look at the area where you guys see that hair that I used to blend, and just give a little more coverage between her hair and the extensions. And I used it to create that silhouette of a tapered cut, like it was all her hair. The good thing is, even if the breeze blows, her hair is still under there, so we don't have to worry about it looking odd or looking like something is wrong. And then I also use our Elite Silk Wrap Foam to mold the hair. And, you know, of course, you guys know I always talk about foundation. Foundation is everything. So I use our Elite Silk Wrap Foam to mold her hair down, to blend everything together, and then she'll go under the dryer for a couple minutes to allow that wrap foam to dry, and then we will style. Now that she is thoroughly dried, I'm just combing everything out to get her prepared for me to curl her, do any finishing touches, any detailing, any cutting, sideburns, that kind of thing. That's what happens now in this process. Not everyone molds their weaves or their alopecia weaves if they're doing them. Some people prefer not to. I actually like to do the mold because I feel like it just kind of marries everything. So now I'm just working in the crown area. I'm really just curling her going towards one direction because she did not want to have a ton of hair going towards her face. And this kind of keeps the style nice and playful, nice and pliable, nice and soft. Now, of course, I forgot to mention all of the tools you guys seeing me use are my H2 Pro tools. They are available on our website at elitehaircareusa.com. Okay. All right, so back to this video. So as I'm curling her, I'm just kind of playing with the hair and teasing her hair to give her a little bit of volume. It's not per se to make the hair look big or anything of that nature, but I just wanted to kind of work my way through, and as I'm working, I'm slightly styling. So by the time I'm finished with the curl process, I'm really just fluffing and just kind of doing any type of little detail work that I need to do. Now, you guys, I want you guys to comment down below and tell me what you guys thought about this style, of course. What you guys think about the blend and the coverage that we did for her sides and her back to make them look not so sparse by using extensions. And then, of course, you guys, don't forget to visit our website at elitehaircareusa.com, where you're able to get all of our hair repair, hair restoration, hair moisturizing, and regrowth products. Let's talk about it real quick. I forgot. When she goes home, you guys, the biggest question is, how does she take care of this? Well, all she needs is either a Velcro cap or a cotton bandana. She would tie her hair around the sides and the back. And the good thing with the top is it's super soft. So it allows her to use her comb or her fingers, and she can run her fingers through it. And that, at that point, is just going to allow her to just get a little bit of movement, get some things going where it doesn't just look blah. Okay, that's the real goal here. You don't want blah hair. She was actually very emotional getting her hair done because I actually know why. Because a lot of people feel like there's no hope when you have alopecia. And it can sometimes feel that way. It can become very overwhelming and makes you feel like you're just stuck in one place. But God has just really been blessing me where I'm able to be a blessing to others. And I'm so thankful because I never would have thought that I would be in this place where I'd be able to help so many people to just regain their confidence and their self-esteem and be able to actually feel like they are wearing their hair with a little bit of help. Amen. All right. So what I'm doing is just edging her up, cleaning up her nape and her sides. And listen, the edge is what brings it all together. It makes it all look amazing, even though the style itself is amazing. But that edge has to be crispy. If it was a regular shortcut, that edge would be nice and crispy. So I am one of those people where I want it to look like a regular short style, like a pixie. And I always deliver that part. Anyway, you guys, comment, like I said. Tell me what you guys thought about the finished style. I appreciate everybody for watching. And I'll see everybody in the next video. Bye.